I think you should join my Discord. Why? Because my mom owns a Ford. Enjoy the video. Find some items. Find some items. You constantly thought in your head. You were all by yourself in one of the holiday floors of the garden view. In the floor you were in, there was a twisted Bobette and twisted Scraps. Oh boy, you're in for a doozy. You start by extracting one of the machines, then another, then another. You left the last machine untouched. You weren't going to leave this floor until you get enough supplies. You kept quiet and walked slowly. If you run anywhere near Twisted Bobette, she'll immediately know where you are. Bobette was one of the holiday tunes that were only available to the public around January, until they were recalled around the end of the same month. Anyway, you managed to get some gumballs, several types of candies, and a bottle and a can of Poppy Cola. You were confident that you got everything you needed. You put the items you picked up in a bag that you got from the gift shop floor. You were working on the last machine. You were amazed by yourself, able to grab a bag full of supplies without being detected once. You couldn't wait to tell the others of how successful and great of a job you did. But that's when it all goes downhill, when you realize you missed a skill check. You were thinking too much on how good you did that what caused the machine to let out a big beep, attracting one of the Twisteds to you. Twisted Scraps was walking around the corner, and then her eyes laid on you. You quickly grabbed your bag and started running. She used her claw-like tail to reach to you. Her tail managed to leave a bad mark on your arms. You kept running until you were confident that you were out of her line of sight. But then, you heard fast, heavy, loud footsteps. Then you realized you were running for a bit too long, was distracted Twisted Bobette. But you were running for so long that you needed to take a breather. Twisted Bobette had ran to the area that she heard you running, and then she saw you. She was running quickly at you, but you were so tired you couldn't run anymore. So you grabbed the bag of supplies you had and threw it at Twisted Bobette's face, giving you enough time to at least walk your way away from her. She didn't see you anymore. You were able to escape. Somehow. You made your way back to the last machine. Finally completed it. Then you made your way to the elevator. As the elevator closes, you had this weird feeling. You made it back to the elevator and survived. But yet, you still feel disappointed in yourself. You had a whole bag full of items and resources that can help you in the other tunes for weeks, only just to be used as something to distract a Twisted. Not to mention the wound on your arm that Twisted Scraps made for you. It was bleeding out ichor, but kinda slowly. You covered your arm, trying to stop the bleeding, while you constantly think in your mind, what I'm going to say to the other tunes. Other than that, all you could really do now is just wait until you get to the safe place. What's the safe place? There's only one floor in the garden view that doesn't have Twisteds lurking, aka the Toon's room, aka the safe place. It was the only floor that doesn't have any Twisteds. Well, also the lobby, but there was really no reason to go there. The Toons used it as a hideout, a safe haven, for the Toons who don't want to go out and face the dangers that's lurking in the garden view. When the safe place is low on supplies, normally a group of Toons will go out and grab items that are scavenged around the floors. But you were overly confident and decided to go on your own. That what caused you the position that you're in. The elevator opened, and now you're back at the safe place. You made your way to the kitchen. The first Toon to notice your return was Goob, the fluffy crab. He noticed the wound on your arm, and with a panic, he shouted, "Somebody help! They're wounded!" The Toons noticed you too, and then saw your wound. Goob walked up to you and covered your wound with his hand, trying to put as much pressure as he possibly could. And then Astro walked up to you. Astro told Goob, "Goob, take them to the couch." Goob walked you over to the couch, having you sit down while still keeping pressure onto your wound. Astro walked up to you, along with Shrimpo and Dandy. Dandy is carrying a medkit, opened it, and then pulled out a band-aid. "Okay, you can let them go now, Goob. I got this." Goob let go of your wound, letting Dandy bandage it up. "Okay, just stand still. I will be done in a moment." As Dandy was bandaging your wound, Shrimpo asked, "Well, where are the supplies?" You explained to him that you lost it. You used it to save your own life. "Ugh, seriously? I waited for an hour just for nothing?" angrily said the shrimp. Astro told the Shrimpo, "It's okay, Shrimpo. It's not the end of the world." "Ah, whatever." Shrimpo walked away. Once Dandy was done bandaging your wound, he kissed it, hoping to make you feel more better. "Alright, I'm done. Just keep it on there for a few weeks and you should be okay, Dandy said happily. He gave you a big smile and then walked away. It was just you, Goob, and Astro now. Astro told Goob, "Alright, Goob, I think you should give them some space." "But why?" Goob asked. "Well, they just gone through a rough day. I think they need some time to breathe." Before he walked away, Goob gave you a nice big hug. "Please get better," Goob said to you. And then he walked away. It was just now you and Astro. Astro then sat right next to you on the couch. Astro asked, "So, how are you feeling?" You explained that you felt awful. That you basically just went on a supply run all by yourself and came back with nothing but a wounded arm. You felt like you just wasn't good enough. You didn't do anything bad. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't make it out with supplies, but you made it back in one piece. You made it back alive. That is what's more important. You are more important to us than some stuff that's been lying on the ground for who knows how long. I'm glad that you made it back alive. We're all glad that you are okay. There's nothing to beat yourself up about. You're doing great. Him saying that made you feel slightly a bit better. There was a silence between the two of you for a good few minutes, until Astro came with an idea. "Hey, how about we have a sleepover in my room, just the two of us?" You would normally say no, but you know that Astro is one of the best tunes to be around with for comfort. And based on what you've gone through today, comfort would definitely be suitable for you right now. So you agreed. Astro, with a sigh of relief, is glad that you wanted. Great. Well, see you in a few hours. Astro then walked away, leaving you all by yourself at the couch, where you can just take the time to take a breather about everything that happened today. It is now time for the tunes to go to a room and sleep for the night. We walked over to Astro's room, knocking on the door. Astro opened the door and saw you. "Oh hey, you made it. Come in." Once you came into Astro's room, he then closes the door. You were holding your pillow and blanket, thinking you were going to sleep on the floor. "Oh no. You don't have to sleep on the floor. You can sleep in my bed. I normally sleep while standing anyway, so the bed's all yours." You looked at Astro's bed and realized that there was enough room to fit the both of you. So then you asked Astro, Why don't we both sleep on the same bed together? There's enough room. Astro blushed for a quick second, but then shook his head. I mean, okay. You were both now on the bed, ready to sleep. But before you close your eyes, Astro asked, "Do you want to hear a story before you go to sleep?" You nodded. Astro was coming up with a story to tell you, until he did. Once upon a time, there lived a little toon who lived in a big house. They want to be like the other toons, but the darkness was keeping them to be happy. But then one day, they stopped their shadows from keeping them, and has made as many friends. Those many friends have cared for them, helped them, and supported them. They live happily ever after. The end. Moral of the story: don't listen to what your shadows tell you. And always remember that you have loved ones who can help you. With a smile on your face, you finally closed your eyes. But before you fully went asleep, Astro put his mouth up to your ear and whispered,